Hey, what's up everybody? How you all doing? Now, in today's video, we're taking a look at our newest Warframe. Titania, Titania, however you want to pronounce it, that's entirely up to you. Pronouncing her name seems to be a bit of an annoyance for some people. Remember that some people have different accents than you do, so I'm going to be pronouncing it Titania. Now, she is our pixie Warframe, our butterfly-based fairy queen, and to be honest, she looks really good. To build her, you will first need to complete, the second dream quest. Then you need to get the Silver Grove quest and complete it as well. To get the Silver Grove quest, you will need to go to any relay, go to the new local room and speak to the crazy new local lady in there, and she will give you the quest to start with. Then you need to go around scanning loads of plants, and basically it's quite boring, it really is. But the dialogue in the quest is actually quite good, so I'm not going to talk about any of that. I also think that you need to be mastery rank 7 or higher in order to get this quest, but I think that might have to be confirmed. Let me know in the comment section below. Stat wise, Titania is pretty well balanced. Her default health is 100, her default shield is 100, and her default power is also 100, but her armor is only 65, which means she is pretty fragile to begin with. But her Arcwing mode called Razor Wing will give her a 50% evasion to enemy attacks, so it makes it harder for enemies to actually hit her once you activate that. Now, with regards her abilities, her first ability is called Spellbind, and it simply just lifts enemies up into the air. It disarms those enemies as well, and nearby teammates or squad mates who stand inside the radius can become immune to status effects as well. Now, with range mods equipped, this can become a really good crowd control ability for your Titania if you choose to mod her that way. Her second ability is called Tribute, and this is basically her buff ability. When cast on an enemy, you will deal damage at first and then create a shadow copy of that enemy in your own energy colour, and when you run into that shadow copy you gain a buff. There are 4 different buffs for you to gain, and depending on which enemy you cast it on, it will determine which buff you get. Now, these buffs are Thorns, which will reflect up to 25% of damage back onto enemies for 2 minutes. Dust, which will reduce enemy accuracy by up to 50% for 2 minutes. Entangle, which will slow enemies down 25%. And Full Moon, which will increase your companion's damage by 75% for 90 seconds. So your Kavat or Kubro or Sentinel will get a nice boost in its damage. Full Moon does just sound like you've just dropped your trousers and bared your arse, but I guess it's a decent buff. Now, you can have all 4 of these buffs active at any one time, and I think Thorns is given to your whole team. So a squad of 4 Titanias might have Thorns stacking, which will give them a huge amount of damage reduction. Her third ability is called Lantern, and this is where you get to turn your enemies into a party balloon. When cast on an enemy, he will float about, and all other enemies are mesmerised by the beauty of this balloon, and they will walk slowly towards it. Maybe they like balloons or they want just that one balloon, but you can wait for them to get close enough and watch the timer tick down and wait for it to detonate, or you can detonate it yourself. So basically 2 enemies, you turn one into a balloon, the second one walks towards it because he loves balloons, and then the fucking thing blows up and knocks him on his arse. It's as simple as that. At higher levels it doesn't deal a lot of damage, but the crowd control capability is amazing. It will knock enemies back as well, which is really nice. Also, Valkyria can pull the lantern around using her rip line, so she can pull it into large groups of enemies for a maximum effect, or maybe she just wants to run around and have her own personal balloon. Titania's 4th ability is called Razor Wing, and as I mentioned earlier, it's her Arcwing mode where she shrinks down to half her size, gains a new set of weapons called the Dex Pixia, which are dual pistols, and a heavy sword called the dhuit. With Razor Wing active, you will drain 5 energy a second, but of course efficiency mods and duration mods will reduce this effect by a lot. Power strength mods and your primary and melee weapon mods will increase your damage output, and like I said, she will also gain a 50% evasion from all enemy attacks. Now, of course, your primary mods are going to affect how much damage you deal with the Dex Pixia, and your melee weapon mods are going to affect how much damage you deal with the dhuit. Also, when flying around in Razor Wing mode, you will have 6 Razorfly drones that zap about and shred enemies for you. These drones will also take aggro away from you, meaning enemies will shoot at them and not you. So when you add that to the 50% evasion, she is pretty damn good in Razor Wing mode. Now that's not to say that Razor Wing mode doesn't have its own setbacks, because it definitely does. I feel like she moves far too slow when in that mode. I also feel that she clips into invisible walls and into the ground far too easily as well, but hopefully some of this will get hotfixed as well, definitely the speed. So how did I go about modding my Titania? Well, here's the thing, I like all of her abilities. With a lot of frames you will focus on one, maybe two abilities. With Titania, I like them all. She feels really well balanced and has a nice mix of support, crowd control and a really good damage output as well. So I went ahead and I put 4 Forma on her, and I decided I wanted to keep a balanced mod setup as well. I didn't want anything to be in a negative. If you want, you can mod for more efficiency or more duration. That's entirely up to you. I would, however, recommend that whatever primary weapon you bring is equipped with a lot of crit mods, since her new decks Pixie seem to have a really high crit chance on their own, and you want to throw out as much damage as possible. Now, I'm still not sure if the Aviator mod actually works while she's in Razor Wing mode, as I tried it out but I didn't really see any difference and it didn't seem to show up for me, but others are saying on my Discord that it actually does work. So maybe you guys in the comment section could let me know what you think, whether it works or not. Like I say in most of my videos, however you want to mod or build your own Titania is entirely up to you. Once you're having fun, then who gives a fuck, right? So to finish the video up, my early thoughts on Titania are that she is an incredible crowd control and support frame with a really nice damage output as well, but she is fragile to begin with, and once you learn which enemy type drops which buff, then it's pretty easy to have more than one active at any given time, and she has got a decent amount of survivability. A good frame, definitely worth getting your hands on, but the scanning of doing the quest was quite monotonous and quite bloody boring. However, the dialogue in the quest was really damn good as well. Let me know what you guys think of Titania, and of course the update and everything involved with it, how you went about building her or modding her. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.